Eat, sleep, bet, repeat. That's how we get down on the opening line at EliteSportsBetting.com. I'll be your host, Benny Ricciardi, and today we're going to go on a little bit of a trip around the world. So get your passports out. It's a crazy weekend for soccer because we don't really have any Premier League stuff going on. The FA Cup stuff has taken over England this week. But there are some plays in some other places, and in order to get the best ones, I'm going to bring in my expert, my boy Nick. You know him better as the Duke of DFS. What's going on this morning, buddy?
You know, Benny, before we jumped on air here, we were just talking about this new bird flu that's coming over from China. So I think everyone's a little under the weather, a little nervous about that. Best way to get over a flu or a hangover is to win some money. We've been doing it all week in soccer, just betting the globe. We're going to do it this weekend. Like you said, no EPL, but still tons of action to get down.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the airport last week, so there's a good chance that I caught it, but I also did a massive amount of drinking. So if there's anything that was alive in my body this weekend, it's definitely dead at this point. So I'm
and a couple of old guys like us, you know how it is, 4 or 5 day hangover for that one night that used to take us, 4 hours to get over?
Yeah, I mean, you used to wake up at 12 and start drinking again. Now I wake up on Thursday and I'm like, oh, man, I'm never drinking again. So, you young whippersnappers out there better enjoy it while you can, because the body doesn't bounce back after you hit a certain age. The body doesn't bounce back the way it used to.
No, and, even yesterday, like I said, we didn't really love anything, but we had a Liverpool-Wolves game, ended up winning a unit there. Wednesday, won 1.5 units up on the week, had a good 3-0 Sunday there. So we got some things rolling here. Hopefully make you guys some money this weekend too.
Yeah, so where do you want to start here? Like I said, we got some FA Cup action. We got some action in Germany. I think you wanted to bet on.
Let's start in Germany. And there's one player in particular I'm looking for in the team news. They do play today. I think it's like a 2:30, 2:45 Eastern game today. Borussia Dortmund hosting FC Köln. Dortmund, huge favorites. Köln have won 4 straight in the Bundesliga. And you probably know this, Benny, but in Germany, they take a little winter break. So they play in the fall like everyone else does, and then, the snow comes rolling in off those German hills, and they take a little break. So while it's 4 straight, it's really 2 streaks of 3, and then just January 18th, they won again. Had a tough start to the season, Köln did, but I actually like this game 100 different ways. So if you want to grab just Dortmund on the money line, you can do that, but it's like minus 3 billion. So I don't recommend that. But I'd rather do is take minus 1.5 at minus 130. And the true line is like minus 300 or minus 330 for Dortmund if you're just looking for a winner to throw in a parlay. But I like them at minus 1.5. Dortmund have one of the best home field advantages. We've talked about that on this very show. They've scored over 3 goals per game at home, and they're taking a ridiculous 2.25 points per game at home. Obviously, 3 for a win, 1 for a draw, 0 for a tie there. 75% of their home games have gone over 3.5 goals as well. So we're also attacking that. So just right off the jump, we got Dortmund minus 1.5 and over 3.5 goals. But FC Köln have been scoring goals as well. So they just beat Wolfsburg, like we talked about, January 18th, 2-1. They've scored in 6 straight games. Cordoba up top is an absolute handful. And I think I really enjoy the Bundesliga. It's on FS1 if you're ever just sitting around looking for something to watch. And I actually will flip over to that. If it's 2, we'll call them shitty Premier League games or Bundesliga games, I'll switch over to Bundesliga. It's a technical league. It's a fast league. It's kind of a mix between the Premier League and La Liga in Spain in that it's open and fast, it's attacking, but they still protect the players like they do in Spain and call a bunch of fouls. So it's goals galore. And so for me, I like both teams to score. That's also juiced up to minus 170. So let's flip that over. Again, we're kind of compounding our interest here a little bit. We're going to take both teams to score and Dortmund to win. That gets us to plus 140. So Dortmund minus 1.5, the over 3.5, and then Dortmund and Köln to score and over 3.5 goal. Or excuse me, Dortmund to win, both teams to score. That's plus 140.
All right, so we got 3 or 4 bets in this game, all basically based on the thought process that, Dortmund's probably going to win this game, something like 3-1.
3-1, 4-1 is what I'm thinking, Yep.
All right, so let me ask another question. One thing that I like to do to kind of juice some stuff up is maybe add a goal scorer or 2 to the mix, based on the odds that I'm getting on some of these guys. So who's going to knock one in for Dortmund here that we can look at?
Man, we didn't talk about this, Benny, but you were the best setup man in the game. Let me spike this home for you, brother. How big I go on all of these bets, and again, I'll be in the chat over on elitesportsbetting.com today for all our subscribers, depends on one man and one man only. And he's not even really a man. He's a big-ass boy. He's 19-year-old Erling Braut Haaland. Get used to hearing the name because the dude's a freak. His dad was a professional footballer as well. 19 years old, Norwegian player, 6'5", long, languid forward. Came in to make his debut for Dortmund just this past weekend. Played the last 20 minutes, scored 3 goals. So I'm assuming he gets to start here. You know, he is young. They were going to kind of work him in, but he's just too damn good to keep off the field. And what better place to make your home debut than in front of the home faithful there in Dortmund?
All right, so we'll have to check out what numbers we can get on him for we'll have to see if he's starting, and maybe we'll sprinkle a little bit on first goal. But 2 score, if we're getting better than plus money on it, I think that's one that's going to be in there on my parlay as well.
You know, I typically, like I do, I preach wait for team news because it makes such a big difference. Obviously, with goal scoring odds, these lines don't move a ton, whether a player's in or out. They just put them out in the morning based on the market, and then depending upon what the market does, they'll move the number throughout the day. Especially for goal scorers, I wait until team news is announced and then jump on it then. It's still relatively random. You know, I have in my section there a layer of player props. So I'll bet first goal scorers. These are, and by the way, he's plus 275 for the first goal scorer today.
Oh, wow. So that's not even a big number. That's a number that's usually reserved for a Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo type when you're sub plus 300 to score the first goal.
And he's minus 180 anytime. So, I mean, if you want to jump on it now, you certainly can. I can't see a scenario where he's on the bench and comes in and is the first goal scorer because I think there's going to be so many games here. Right. So I'd wait for that team news. Worst case scenario, he drops down to even money or something, and then I still like him at that.
And most places too, most books will be they have to start. If they don't start, then they kind of give you your bet back. So if he comes off the bench, it's not even a big deal if you bet him to score first because you'll just wind up getting the bet canceled and, you know, the money back in your account. But be careful with the, you know, 2-score stuff because they don't always do that with the 2-score stuff. It depends on what book you're using. So you really
make sure that your book will give you your money back.
Yeah, exactly. Every book has different rules on it. I know a lot of the ones that I use, like DraftKings, FanDuel, the main ones in New Jersey right now, if the guy doesn't start, they just cancel the bet and they void it. They give you your money back. So, you know, this way, if you put it in now and it turns out that he's not in the first 11, you still don't have to really worry about it.
What do you think about the FanDuel sportsbook from a soccer perspective, Benny? Because I don't use it personally.
To be honest, I like the DraftKings one better. I just feel like to be honest, the DraftKings one is exactly the same as DraftKings and FanDuel for DFS. It's just they did a much better job with, you know, making the system easy to navigate for somebody. So I wind up using the DraftKings one a lot more than I use the FanDuel one. But then again, with the Meadowlands being so close, anytime I live bet, I usually wind up live betting with FanDuel because it's a 5-minute ride from my house if there's no traffic. So I like the FanDuel live. I like the FanDuel for live betting better, but DraftKings to me is the better of the two when you're looking online. It's just easier to navigate. It's a better user experience, you know, which honestly is big. If you're betting from home, I mean, again, for me, I know how to navigate everything and all the different terms and where to find stuff. So it's not that big a deal. But if you're somebody who's not very familiar with sports books, the easier you can make it for the average fan to go in there and be able to put in their bets and do what they want to do, the better you're going to be, the more business you're going to get. And I just feel like same thing as DFS, which we've been talking about for years, is the DraftKings interface is just so much better and so much more user-friendly than the FanDuel one is. They got better coders. That's what it comes down to, you know?
You know, I don't play a ton on FanDuel, but since they, I guess, acquired PlayDraft and we transferred the value or all the money over there, I got some money over there now, and it is I hate the interface of FanDuel. Yeah. Even it's honestly looks like something you made in your college, your college. It's your MySpace page.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great definition of it. It's the minimum viable product that you can put out there is the way that they did it, and honestly, it's been that way since the beginning. They've never bothered to update the user experience. So.
And saying that, we are for sale. FanDuel, if you'd like to sponsor the opening line, we'll be right here touting your stuff.
Yeah, we will say nice things about you if you're paying us. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth one way or another. I don't really care. I've never been somebody.
Yeah, me too. I'm not getting any of that damn money. Who cares?
Exactly. It doesn't matter to me. So let me ask you this. I know we started off with Germany. You got any more bets over there, or do you want to move on? I know you said you had some stuff in Italy too. And
let's head over to your home country.
To get their passports.
Yeah, let's go to Italy. Let's take a short flight over there. Brescia hosting AC Milan. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's how I've always
Yep.
heard it pronounced. AC Milan on their third manager in 12 months. Pioli actually has turned some things around. So he took over in October. AC Milan off to a rough start. You and I were talking about the Rhino, Gennaro Gattuso famously said, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, right? That's how AC Milan was to start the season. Fired their manager, brought in Pioli. They've been doing a hell of a lot better. And what they do is they punish the bottom of the table. So I'm not really a big trend better, but I look at form specifically against styles of play. And against 12 matches against the bottom half, AC Milan, even with their poor form to start the season, 6 wins, 4 draws, and 2 losses. That includes the 1-0 win versus Brescia that they had in home in the reverse fixture. The scoreline in that game is a little bit misleading. They had 62% possession, outshot Brescia 16-6, hit the woodwork once. I mean, they had 3 big chances. They just happened to score 1. So I was looking at alternate lines. What I think I'm going to do here is just eat the juice and take AC Milan to win, minus 150. This could very easily be another 1-0 game. So I don't necessarily want to attack the total. If Brescia does score a goal, AC Milan is likely going to be pushing for a second if they get the first one. So the under is probably where I lean there. For the total is 2.5 with plus 110 on the under. So that's not bad if you're looking for more value. If you're just looking for a straight up win, my play is AC Milan to win minus 150. Go pay it.
Minus 150. All right. I am going to go play it. I have been a supporter of the Rossoneri for a long time. It's been a rough go. Like I said to you, they haven't been good since the sex parties back in the day. And, sometimes that's what you need, a little sex party to get you going and to bring in a little bit of team. Those team orgies wind up bringing a lot of team unity, apparently, because hasn't been the same for them since. So we'll see what happens there. All right, so go ahead. Go ahead. Say something now. What are you going to say? How do you follow that up? Go ahead.
I was going to say, you do bind pretty quickly when you're on the other end of a lovely lass, but we'll leave that. We'll leave the Eiffel Towers to France, right?
Yeah. Do we have any French bets today, or are we hopping over to England now?
We do. Not today. I may throw something in later. There is one game Nice is playing Stade Rennais. I don't know. I was looking at it, but we have so many freaking plays for this weekend that I'm going to save some stuff for the subs.
Yeah, and if we got a lot of action going on already, we don't have to force it. We'll take the ones that we like the best.
And Saturday, there's no Premier League, but we have 4 games in La Liga in Spain. We have 6 games in the Bundesliga. Serie A is back. We'll be firing tomorrow.
Yeah, there'll be enough soccer going on that we can get some money down there. All right, so we went to Germany, we went to Italy. Are we going to England? We got any FA Cup action here? Or?
Let's do it. Let's go to the land of bad teeth and horrible food. FA Cup action. We're bringing it back, Benny. It's round robin time, baby. Let's go.
Do it. Let's do it.
Who wants it?
I got my pen out. Go ahead. Who we firing on?
All right, look, I'm going to save you the spiel and breakdown on every single one of these games. And again, we're going in a little bit blind. We are not going to know team news. These games are mostly on Saturday. I think they're actually all on Saturday now that I'm looking at it. I think I have one on today. Let me just double check this before we jump into it.
Well, hey, there's no football this weekend, so we got to bet on something. So that's, hopefully.
Yeah, here. So this is, in my breakdown here, I have, if you're going to drop one of these, drop QPR, which is our first bet. QPR draw, no bet. It's minus 125. Of course, that means if the game ends tied at the end of regulation, you get your money back. It's a push. You don't win, you don't lose. In these FA Cup games, if they are tied at the end of extra time, they'll go to, I believe, overtime and then penalties. So we will have to have a winner here at this stage. I don't know that we're at the replay stage yet, but regardless, draw, no bet is what we're looking for there. That's our first bet. That is today, and that is why we won't have access to team news for the rest of these plays, which take place tomorrow.
Okay.
So then we have tomorrow, Leicester City to win.
Like that.
Portsmouth to qualify. Minus 125.
So what's to qualify? Explain that.
They're going to go through. So it's a tournament.
All right.
So they'll be the team that goes to the next round.
Is this like a 2-leg thing or?
Nope. It's just and let me double check what I want to say we are doing replays.
What I'm asking is why is this different than just a regular to win? Or is it not?
So again, if it's tied at the end of 90 minutes, that's on the 3-way line or a goal line. That's the end of that bet.
Okay, I got you.
And so that's why we're pushing for QPR draw, no bet on the first one there. It gets a bit random once you go to penalties in extra time or a replay.
Right.
And then let me double check here. But we have QPR, Leicester, and then we're at Portsmouth. And then we get to the favorites. Remember, last time in our round robin, I believe it was Cardiff was the one who absolutely screwed us, the minus 300 plus favorite. That was our guaranteed win for all these parlays. Got down on a fluky goal early. I think it was a PK, actually. And these are we'll say Man City's our guaranteed win. They're minus 1,000. We're throwing them in there strictly for numbers, and they should win. I'm not going to go with the goal line. I'm not going to mess with the total. I just want 2 to 3 of these 6 teams to be borderline guaranteed locks. So I have City, Chelsea, and Liverpool to win, 3 of the big boys. I'm not trusting Manchester United on a horrible field over at Tranmere, and I'm not trusting Arsenal with the way Arteta's been putting his teams out, and obviously possible rotation here as well. So I'd rather take Chelsea, City, and Liverpool to win their respective games as our 3 guaranteed wins, and then Portsmouth, Leicester, and QPR to bump up the numbers here.
Yeah, and just to kind of go over what we're talking about here with the round robin, depending on what site you're betting on, some of them may offer it, some of them may not. But it's basically a lot like boxing a number in the lottery, or, betting a trifecta in, a trifecta box in horse racing. What you're really doing is you're getting every combination of all these teams together. So, if Man City wins and Portsmouth wins and Leicester wins and Chelsea wins, you basically have every combination of those 2 or 3 teams together to wind up winning the game. So what you wind up doing in the end is making, what do we got, a six-way here? So you wind up making something like, 40 or 50 separate, like $1 or $2 bets, hoping that you hit every single one of them. And the way something like this really works out for you is, obviously, if you go 6 for 6 and you get all your bets right, then you win every one of the bets up and down, all the 2x2s, all the 3x3s, 4x4s, 5x5s, and the 6x6 at the end. If 3 or 4 of these teams win, you're probably going to lose money, because you're still going to win some bets, so you'll get some money back, but you're also going to lose a bunch of bets, because if Man City shits the bed and loses by a goal or something, then you're going to lose every one of those combinations that had Man City in, but you still have a chance to win a bunch of the other ones and get some of your money back. If you hit like 5 out of 6, you usually wind up eking out a little bit of profit. 4 out of 6, maybe a little bit of a loss, and then obviously it could be a disaster where you only go 1 out of 6 or so. Very unlikely to happen, and that would be the case that you lose all your money. But that's also why you use the round robin, because you're basically defining your risk, saying, I'm probably going to get at least a little bit of money back. If things work out really well, I'm going to get a decent amount of money back and still make a little bit of a profit. So that's the idea why you use something like that.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, if you lose one, you want it to be your biggest favorite, because then the rest of your parlays are going to be, less juiced. So, I mean, can't see Man City losing, but that's our guaranteed win, right? That has to be a free square for us to make money. So the way I'm playing this is exactly how you described it, Vinny. I'm only doing the 3 and 4 teamers. Okay. I'm not going to do the 5, and we'll do the 16 parlay. So I'm going 0.2 unit plays on all 23 teamers.
Okay.
I'm doing 0.2 unit plays on all 15 4-team combinations, and I'm throwing a half a unit on a 16 parlay. So we're 7.5 units in for this bet to win 32.86 if we sweep the board.
Yep. So that's the way it works. And basically it's like a sliding scale. If one of those teams loses, you're probably looking at maybe like a 14 or 15 unit win. So, from 7.5, you double what you get. If you get 2 of them losing, depending on which 2 they are, you're probably around breaking even. 3 or more of them lose, that's probably the point where you're like, okay, let me just see how much money I can salvage out of the 7.5.
Yeah.
Maybe bring back 2 or 3 units and make it only a 4-unit loss for the day. But again, like Duke is saying, that's why we're betting on the Man City, on the Chelsea, on the Liverpool, because these are big favorites that you can almost consider locks. And if those 3 get through, then even if you only get 1 or 2 of the other ones, the Portsmouths, who else do we have?
QPR.
Yeah, like teams like that. Those teams are closer to even odds. Those are the ones that really juice up the payouts for you, because the Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool 3x3 is going to be like bet $1 to win $1.50.
Yeah, it's $1.36. I literally just
there you go. Not even $1.50. It's even lower than that. But when you start adding in like 2 of them in a QPR, now you're talking about like betting $1 to win $2 or $3. Then depending on the odds that you're getting on these other teams. So that's really the idea behind it. You want to try to hit them all, obviously, but if you get most of them and you lose one, basically the idea of why this is better than a parlay, you're giving up some of the upside because you're not putting all of them together and saying, I need all 6 of these teams to win. If 4 or 5 of them win, you're still going to get some money back. So that's really what you're doing, is you're giving up a little bit of your upside, but you're also limiting your risk here a lot. And, This way you can kind of, have some ammo ready to play again tomorrow or the next day or whenever the next time you can fire is. So,
and you certainly don't have to play, all of these. You don't have to play every combination. You can just do the parlay if you just want to kind of get your feet wet and see how it goes and just have action. Throw a unit on this parlay and cross your fingers and hope we get all 6 right. Because I'm a genius. The way I'm looking at it, we're going to go 4-0 today, and then we'll have QPR win today. So that'll be 5-0 on bets so far, and then we'll have 5 more bets to win tomorrow. I mean, we're up, 50 units, something like that, Benny?
Yeah, 50 units sounds pretty good to me. I don't know. I still got to pay off for a Vegas trip from last weekend. So that credit card bill's coming due pretty soon. So we'll see.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. So anything else you want to throw in here, Duke, before we sign off?
I don't know. I think I just gave the people like 20 bets. So go enjoy those. Good luck to everybody this weekend. I will be hanging out in the chat. No articles. We have FA Cup action tomorrow, Saturday. So we'll maybe look to do some DFS there, but kind of just a weekend getting ready for next week when we're back at it.
All right. So, hey, make sure if you guys want to, make sure you get over there into the chat. Duke will be there probably throwing in some live bets. And I know he'll be there when they start coming out with the lineups. This way everybody knows, if it changes anything that he's looking at here. Like we said, some of these times with the FA Cups, sometimes you get that secondary team where they sit all the regulars and they let some of the young kids play. So if anything like that comes up, the best place to get that information, go over to www.elitesportsbetting.com. Sign up for the package. We got the lowest price we've been offering now on the VIP package for seasonal, for monthly, for weekly, if you want to just go and try it out. Again, it's going to include all the sports that are coming now, the all-access plan. We're going to have XFL coming up soon as well. The MLB package just launched. NBA and NHL are still in full swing. Mad Lab keeps killing MMA. I know you guys did that pod last week before the McGregor fight, which was a very profitable day for me. So thank the two of you for that.
Yeah, you bet.
And that's it. That's the way we roll. So for Duke, this is Benny. This has been another episode of The Opening Line at EliteSportsBetting.com.